En los años de 1938 a 1945, en el periodo de la Segunda Guerra Mundial, se construyeron campos de concentración en la mayor parte de Europa. Durante mucho tiempo solo se encerraban a hombres en Mauthausen y sus alrededores. A partir del verano de 1942, el comandante de las SS, Heinrich Himmler, hizo instalar burdeles en varios campos de concentración que los prisioneros y funcionarios de prisiones podían visitar como incentivo a la actuación. Este trabajo de investigación se centra en algunas de las voces de las prisioneras que estuvieron en los campos de concentración Mauthausen y Lenzing y busca resaltar el tejido social que crearon, sus relaciones, vivencias, momentos significativos y las formas de poder con las que lograron sobrevivir.
Estuvimos un par de días en el tren y luego llegamos a Mauthausen.
We went with the train a few days, we got to Mauthausen. That's in Austria, that's a big camp, just for men. We stood, when we got there, everybody stood in the line to be counted, who made it, how many didn't make it. And the commandant came on a horse and he said, this is a working camp, you're going to get divided, everybody's going to get a job, you do your part and we're going to do ours.
Viajamos unos cuantos días, después de estos días nos dejan libres a bajar de los vagones porque no iban a pasar a vagones cerrados. Sí. Cuando nos sacan de los vagones, se hacían con nosotros juegos, ¿sabes? Empezaban a tirarnos ropitas en el aire. Quien agarra, agarra. Quien un poco de pan, una bombacha. Un show hacían con nosotros, los mismos alemanes.
Las mujeres seleccionadas para el servicio en los burdeles eran supuestamente depravadas, que habían real o supuestamente sido prostitutas y fueron deportadas a los campos como asociadas.
¿Usted sabía que en Mauthausen había mujeres que estaban obligadas a trabajar como prostitutas?
No, nunca me enteré.
¿No se hablaba de eso después de la liberación? ¿No se enteró?
No.
In Mauthausen, there didn't have a place for us. The only ladies' place was a place, I don't know how to say it in English, it was a poof. You call it here. Yeah? How did you say? A whorehouse. Yeah? So we were taken there and we were given good food, nice clothes, prepared for work.
La mayoría de mujeres eran de origen alemán, pero algunas procedían de Polonia, Ucrania, Bielorrusia y los Países Bajos.
About 5 days came a guy, a German guy, with the papers. We want to register our names, what we do, whatever. And he started asking, the first question was, who are you? What's your name? What's your religion? When it came to the religion, I said, Mosaic. That means Jewish. He said, what? You are Jewish? What are you doing here? You're not allowed to work here. In such a place, in such a distinguished place, how can a Jewish person work here? So he asked, is there more Jews here? So it's about 12 or 13 girls picked their hands up, they're Jewish, and the rest were not. So this was the option. Some Jewish kids said there are not, so they stayed there and work. And some Christian girls said they're Jewish, they didn't want to stay in a whorehouse.
A partir de 1944, las SS instalaron cada vez más subcampos para mujeres en todo el Reich, incluso en los alrededores de Mauthausen.
En Lenzing tenían que salir cada día temprano, con zapatos de madera y caminar 3 kilómetros.
What was Lenzing? What kind of a camp was it?
We were just around it. It was the outskirts. We were all 30,000 of us in an oat factory.
30,000
women, just women, in an oat factory. And we had, like different, big rooms, and it was a little bit easier. It wasn't as harsh as in Auschwitz. The food wasn't good, but not good. We didn't get enough, that's all.
Why were you sent out of Auschwitz?
Because they needed work there. So we
What kind of work did you do there?
We did all kinds. I was working first myself in an ammunition factory. We were packing, what's her name, ammunition powder and stuff like that. And I would sit next to a German girl, and she's going to get a liter milk for lunch, and she would have a gas mask. I stood next to her. I didn't get anything.
To sort of hover.
You were about 15 years old.
15 years old. And I was very, very little, and short and skinny. And how they didn't send me with all the young kids, I don't know. I really don't know.
Just we struggled there. We struggled to begin with meet those 500 Jewish girls from Hungarian. They spoke just Hungarian, and it's a very difficult language for us to learn. We spoke Polish and German and Jewish, and they didn't. There worked in ammunition factories, and we didn't. We were not allowed to go to work.
What kind of work did you do there?
I didn't, because they thought that because I have a number on my arm, the Austrian people said I must have committed something very bad to get that number. And I said I got it just because I was a Yidden, a Jew.
Here's the town of Leipzig. About 3 kilometers away, and they had to go there every day, early in the morning, with their wooden shoes, and the winter was very strong. And the concentration camp was in an old part of the factory, but 3 kilometers away. And they had to go every day only with the thin clothes and with their wooden shoes, and most of them didn't have any shoes, and they rolled paper around their toes and their feet.
The cook who cooked for us cooked also for the Russian war prisoners. And first of all, he fed himself well, then his Russian friends, and we got the least.
Cada vez que sobraba un pedazo de pan que querían botar, lo guardaba y se lo daba a la más hambrienta.
Basically, what I did was, whenever there was a piece of bread that they were ready to throw out, I collected the pieces of bread and I would put it under my jacket. And when they would see me arrive, they would huddle around me. And whoever was the hungriest, that's who I took out a piece of bread and gave it to them. And because we were there, particularly in Lansing, we were so terribly hungry. In Auschwitz, we lost the initial weight, but then we were already skin and bone. So the piece of bread that I would bring home,
half an apple she would bring home.
Half an apple, whatever. But that was the big thing that I did. And my family, my sisters felt that they remained alive because of the extra piece of bread.
There was resistance within the population, and this kind of people were hiding food under the grass, and they knew.
You mean hiding food?
Yes, for the prisoners, and some bread also, and potatoes.
Nosotras éramos 3, estábamos siempre juntas. Casualmente éramos 3 Evas. Cantar nos hizo fuertes, mantener con buen ánimo. Fue muy saludable cantar en ese momento, en esos tiempos. Nosotras éramos 10 neerlandesas, estábamos siempre muy unidas. Cuando una de nosotras tenía cumpleaños, recibía siempre un cuarto de pan de cada una de las 10.
But there was another man who was very friendly, another SS man. These were old people, you know, elderly people who probably remembered better times, and he would give to the little girls a piece of some bread or apple.
And they stopped for some reason or other in one of the towns behind the church in Bohemia. And there we stood on a siding for about a fortnight or something like that, without a possibility to wash hardly any food. Sometimes now and then somebody threw a piece of bread there. No, it was undescribable.
Who threw bread?
One of the SS women actually took a piece of. I caught once a piece of bread because in between it was my birthday and somebody told her, and she threw me a piece of bread. I remember that.
Cuando paraban los trenes, estaban golpeando adentro de los vagones algunas personas, no sabíamos quiénes eran. Nosotros mirando para afuera vimos uniformes de soldados viejos, gente grande, gente vieja. Decían, aguanten, porque se está terminando la guerra, así nomás.
Los que no caminaban simplemente las tiraban o los mataban o los golpeaban o les tiraban un tiro. Y ahí mis amigas me arrastraron, no sé cómo. Yo enseguida, cuando yo me recuperé, empecé a caminar, pero cada uno me agarraba de los dos lados y una me empujaba de atrás y otra me sostenía de adelante.
Dice la alemana, ella, andate con el grupo de gente, no los abandones, yo ya voy a andar con esta chica, con la madre. Me dice, espera, el alemán, vos ves un arroyito allá, un poco de agua, vos tenés una jarita, saca un poco de agua y agarra un trapito o algo, échale a tu madre, échale en la cara porque estaba seca totalmente. Y ponele en el corazón, me dice. Yo lo miro, no podía creerlo, poner en el corazón. Y le pongo en cualquier lado, menos en el corazón. Me dice, no, del otro lado ponele el trapito. Arranqué algo de encima mío, no sé cómo, y le puse, y dice, échale agua. Y mira, empezó a reaccionar un poco mi madre, y la llevaba arrastrando conmigo hasta el campo que llegamos las dos solas.
En enero de 1945, Mauthausen se vuelve un lugar de evacuación para prisioneros, ahora caracterizado por el caos, hacinamientos y muertes masivas. Y los alemanes empezaron a preparar la huida.
Cada uno dormía, tenía que abrir las piernas y entre las piernas cada uno dormía. Sin nada, sin cama, sin nada. Pues vinimos para morir.
Nos llevaron en un transporte, ya era no sé cuántos días y cuántas noches sin comer y sin beber, pero eran vagones abiertos y de vez en cuando paraba el tren y buscábamos debajo de alguna cáscara de papa o de verdura o de fruta y agua, poco y nada lo que salía de los vagones a veces tratamos de agarrar. Y cuántas veces vimos pasar los aviones aliados que tiraban bombas, nosotros felices y contentos por el otro lado, pero cada uno tenía un plato de lata. Entonces, este plato era nuestro resguardo, pensábamos que si tenemos esto encima de la cabeza no nos va a pasar nada. Y realmente las bombas cayeron al lado, a nosotros no nos pasó nada. Llegamos a Mauthausen. Eso era realmente una marcha de la muerte. Ahí, cuando bajamos, ya estábamos todos sin fuerza.
La gente cerraba. Primero estuvimos todos un poco, como no habíamos comido, pero la gente cerraba las ventanas. Cuando después era interminable, seguro no es tan lejos, porque no volví. Había que caminar bastante hasta Mauthausen, sobre una colina. Y ya había, digamos, los alemanes ya se empezaban a preparar para huir, porque se oía de lejos, digamos, no sé si eran cañones, digamos, se oía de lejos el ruido de guerra.
It was about 8 o'clock in the evening on the 29th of April 1944. The sun was shining. 45. It was cold, something awful, but beautiful spring evening. And we were coming up that hill, and I noticed this Danube down there and the vineyards, and I thought, I have never seen such a beautiful place in my life. Of all things, as if I didn't have any other worries. I was having the baby, and I don't know what was going to happen, but it hit me that the Mauthaus is beautiful.
It was a beautiful, sunny day when we arrived to Austria. Everything was white, and there was snow everywhere. And I asked the girl who was walking next to me, please pinch me, because I think we are in heaven now.
Alrededor de 3.000 prisioneras fueron registradas oficialmente en Mauthausen, pero se estima que pasaron alrededor de 10.000 por el sistema.